one of the main criticisms of opponents of critical race theory and equity programs is that they can't define it. This is a media narrative that's been pushed. Can you define critical race theory?
Yeah, critical race theory is a worldview, and it's based on critical theory, and it has 4 key propositions. Now, I'll go backwards in just a second, but let me go forward with the 4 key presuppositions of critical race theory. First of all, it presupposes that racism is normal and it's everywhere and it's structural and it does not require individual conscious racists. Okay? And we've all seen that where everything is racist. That is a tenet of critical race theory. Secondly, convergence theory. They claim that whites will only undo racism when it benefits them. So, in effect, whites cannot act righteously when it comes to matters of race.
Because of their skin color. Yeah.
Right. Think about all of the abolitionists, all of the people who helped to end slavery that happened to have white skin. This is incredibly racist. Okay. Third, anti-liberalism. And this means they question and even reject the very foundations of our liberal order, which includes equality theory, the fact that we propose that all people should be created equal before the law and given equal opportunities. They reject legal reasoning. They reject enlightenment rationalism, and they reject neutral principles of constitutional law. They reject the foundations of our government. That's terrifying. And fourthly, they believe that knowledge is socially constructed. And that's why they elevate storytelling and narrative over objective truth. And I'm sure we've all heard phrases such as elevating the voices of the marginalized or elevating Black voices. We've heard this phraseology, and that comes directly from critical race theory. So let's go backwards. And very quickly, Karl Marx proposed the paradigm of the oppressed and the oppressor. And he based his paradigm on workers versus the industrialists, or the capitalists, if you will. So from that base, Antonio Gramsci, who was an Italian Marxist, he developed the idea of the hegemony. And the hegemony is the idea that there is this oppressive group that is forcing their ideology on the rest of society. From there, we go to the Frankfurt School, a group of German Marxists who developed conflict theory. They developed critical theory, which is based on conflict theory. And critical theory assumes that structures must be the cause of inequity. Okay, so all of this is the base or the foundation of all of these critical studies that you hear. Critical legal studies, critical gender studies, critical African American studies, or critical Black studies. And from critical legal studies, we birthed critical race theory. So I know that's kind of long, but when talking about critical race theory, we really have to understand where it comes from and the presuppositions it's based on in order to, in my opinion, in order to effectively argue against any merits of it.
Absolutely.
So what's their end game? What's their end game here? What is their end game? It's obviously control and power.